So here we have it. Here they have. They're trying to buy a presidency, essentially. I think Trump doesn't get what just happened with J.D. Vance. Let me just take a moment. We talked about him last week. His job record is not good in tech. Let me just say, and including Steve Cates saying he didn't do much, right, when he worked for him. He had a firm that didn't do well. He had one company took public that's gone bankrupt. He essentially was, it was really interesting because Rachel Maddow did a great thing on him this week where she basically called him an intern for Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel got him all his jobs and then gave him money to run for Senate and now has pushed him right into Trump's arms, including getting the Senate endorsement, which was critical to him, and then convincing Donald Jr. to press the president for this. So, this has been a Peter Thiel operation the whole time. I have to tip my hat to him because I do think he's quite brilliant. Not so much David Sachs, but he certainly is. But, it's a small group of people. They put up a list of them, David Sachs did, and it's all like the Winklevosses and a bunch of other, this Sean McGuire person who never shuts up. He's at VC. It's all these unpleasant VCs. And the Information did a poll of voters in Silicon Valley, and it was overwhelmingly Biden over Trump, the average people and startup people and this and that. It's mostly these incredibly afflicted VCs who think they're victims. So, and there's others on the other side, obviously, Reid Hoffman, Mark Cuban, et cetera, quietly Sheryl Sandberg.
It is a dramatic shift, Red, because I think the past couple presidential elections, you've had like 80+% of the dollar volume coming out of the Valley has gone Democratic. These are real players. The thing that struck me was that I found it a couple things. One, for Sequoia and Andreessen to come out and be this political overtly must mean that they have such extraordinary upside, probably around Bitcoin, probably around some sort of dialogue they've had with President Trump that if he's elected, he's going to do something that totally legitimizes or integrates Bitcoin technology into whatever, the Federal Reserve or fiscal planning or some sort of monetary policy that would take the price of Bitcoin and crypto so far up that they've decided it's worth the risk. Because what I got to think here is if Sequoia has like Ottawa Teachers or the State Pension Fund from Michigan as limited partners, I got to think right away they got letters saying, okay, let's be clear. We gave you money to get an above-market return investing in startups. We are not interested in taking the pensions of teachers, of public school teachers in Michigan, and having it go to a Trump PAC. So the deal here must be, on the face of it, so incredibly lucrative in terms of upside for them to publicly come out in favor of Trump. It's just it's dramatic. But the thing that's disappointing here is that it's one thing when people – so first off, Citizens United, it's too much money in politics. It is what it is. The Supreme Court has decided that money is free speech. Okay, it is what it is. People have the right to give money. And it's going to result in influence. This seems to have taken it, though, to kind of a next level of pay to play, that these are specific issues that aren't even connected to any sort of ideology or political way of thinking. It's a general notion that if I give $45 million a month, I'm pretty sure he will slap tariffs on BYD, the largest Chinese EV company. I'm pretty sure that if we and Andreessen give a lot of money to Trump, that he will do what we want around crypto. This feels like a kleptocracy. It's not supporting political ideology. It's just if I give you enough money, you will use the strength and the reach of the government to ensure that I get sweetheart
absolutely.
deals.
And they're also trying to go against competitors. Elon's way behind in AI, so attack OpenAI, attack Google. One thing that's interesting is with J.D. Vance. We'll talk about in a second. But one of the things, Elon's bought Twitter and made it accessible, but it's also part of a play, which Mark Cuban told me was. He said, this isn't about Twitter or anything else that comes out of his stupid mouth. It's about his global impact in terms of dealing with autocrats and his other businesses, right? He always was like, focus on his businesses, Karen, not his stupid remarks about trans people, even though they're stupid. But he's erased any air of neutrality for the platform, the New York Times noted. Another thing I would note is back in March, I said he was going to back Trump and back him heavy. And his stance came down on me like a ton of bricks when I said that on Jen Psaki's show. And because I know he wants money. And that was sort of inspired by a discussion I had with Mark Cuban. I think he was 100% right. He predicted that. And this role of J.D. Vance in all this is interesting. He's kind of a tech bro butler. He's a tech bro butler. It's like a billionaire butler. Rachel Maddow called him Peter Thiel's intern, which I thought was funny. Vance worked at this venture capital firm, I said, and Peter Thiel's been holding his hand the whole time, holding everything to help him along the way. It's literally like, they say everyone gets on their own merit. This guy is like a poster child for special needs. He keeps getting pushed upward, even though he's not that particularly successful. But he has those stances. He's bullish on crypto. He owns Bitcoin. He's actually praised FTC Chair Lina Khan. He's a conservative for her efforts to crack down on big tech. But the tech he's going after is Google, because in his words, it's explicitly progressive technology company. They're also going after Facebook, which is interesting. Mark Andreessen's on the board of that. He's called for the reform of Section 230. He's just in there. He's in their pocket. I just don't know what else to say. What do you think?
Yeah, like I said, it feels like a kleptocracy. It's pay for play. It's not around ideology. It's, I think we've covered this. The place I disagree with you on, like J.D. Vance, does he have the credentials to be vice president? Probably not.
No,
I don't know.
He's been there a year and a half, Scott. He's passed no significant legislation.
How long was Obama there?
I get that, but nonetheless, he's passed no significant legislation. He had no business. He had no business success.
I'm not a fan of the man. I think that when the scariest thing in my view around Trump is that he's, in my opinion, lacks focus and wants to take us to the Handmaid's Tale. And 2025, if you're interested, is literally a manifesto for where they're planning to go. And the thing that scares me about Vance is that he has said repeatedly, I don't care about Ukraine. And generally speaking, throughout history, when Western leaders have shown an indifference to an autocrat invading Europe, it doesn't end well. And so I find both of these people scarier and scariest. But in terms of just the pick itself and his performance as a politician, my joke around Vance, and I'll get, Vance is half Trump's age, hot, and deep down hates Trump. It's Trump's fourth wife.
I agree with you on that. I do think he's thinking this is Don Jr. successful, but this guy's not successful. Neither is Don Jr. And it was shoved. He made the decision supposedly like right after he got shot, which is perfect. Murdoch and others.
Sarah Palin wasn't successful. Right. That hasn't gotten in the way of these
people. No, but Murdoch
was
pushing for Burgum, who is actually successful, and he runs a state. Even if it's a small state, it's a state. And same thing with Rubio. I don't like Marco Rubio, but he's an experienced legislator. This guy is like a nobody. He's a vessel. That said, there's a really good article I push everyone to in Politico about people J.D. Vance likes. Go find out who his inspirations are. You will be disturbed. It's all very conservative Catholic Christian theologists who are very frightening in terms of what they say about gays, about women, about all kinds of things. There's a whole heap and helping of weird with this guy.
He's always said that these people on the far left, talking about like how to be misogynist and weird at the same time, are all cat-owning, childless people that are deeply unhappy and hate children. I'm like,
He was like, you liberals don't believe in the future with childless. And I said, I have fucking children you have. What's wrong with you?
I don't get it.
I think he mentioned children was so strange. It was such a strange.
But look, just to keep it real, because somebody needs to have increasingly honest and open and urgent conversations with President Biden.
Mm-hmm.
They're kicking our ass right now, Kara.
No, I don't think so.
They are kicking our ass. Oh my gosh,
no.
They're killing it.
I like our chances. I do.
Who are we talking about?
Because of the bandage. That's why I've decided.
Who are we talking about? When you say like our chances, who
women.
Who do you
Once
think?
they get a whole heap and helping of this guy, they will. He's not a good choice. He's made Trump vulnerable to I don't think Trump actually does believe a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean? This guy's a dyed-in-the-wool, strange one. He's the Handmaid's Tale guy, not Trump necessarily.